What's going on, Hokie Nation? It's been a while, but we get you going with this fall's installments of our Triumph Spotlights here on TSL today. Our guest today is redshirt senior defensive lineman Pheldarius Payne. A Suffolk, Virginia native, Pheldarius spent 2 years at Lackawanna College in Pennsylvania before spending the next 2 seasons as a starter at Nebraska with the Cornhuskers. Now Payne is back in his home state as a Hokie, sidelined by an Achilles injury last season. Pheldarius is primed for a big year in 2023. Pheldarius Payne coming up next on this week's Triumph Spotlight. Today's show is brought to you by Triumph NIL. The Triumph Digital Network is a fully integrated portal featuring individual channels for Pheldarius Payne and all of your favorite Hokie athletes. Visit triumphnil.com for exclusive engagement, merchandise, and content opportunities, as well as subscriptions. All right, let's go ahead and introduce everybody on the set here in the studio today. I'm Giovanni Heater, your host, joined alongside Andy Bitter and, of course, Pheldarius Payne. Pheldarius, thanks so much for taking the time, man. We've been really looking forward to doing this thing and having you be the first guest of fall number 2023.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Awesome. All right, well, let's kind of start surface level here. Your career has been sort of a winding road, right? We want to open up by giving you the platform to talk about your journey. First, how you got to Lackawanna, what that was like, then the decision to leave there, what your recruitment to Nebraska was like, and now here you are at Virginia Tech. So just kind of take us through that journey.
So at first through high school, well, I'll start from like Pop Warner. At first, we won a national championship when I was like in I think 7th or 5th grade. That's a big distance.
Was that in? Did you play at Disney for that?
Oh no, we was D3, so we played in North Carolina.
Okay.
I didn't know it was divisions to Pop Warner until we made it to the championship, and they were just like, "All right, y'all D3, we don't go to Disney." We was like, we was kind of sad about that. And then I actually wanted to play basketball for a while, so I took a year off of football. I tried to play basketball, and I was good at that age, but didn't stick along. And then around high school, I played both, but my first 2 years, I wasn't the best in the classroom. I was doing a lot of like playing around, not taking school seriously, and that's how I ended up the junior college route, really, because I remember my coach tried to get a college coach to come up, and then he found out my GPA, and it was just, it wasn't the best look for me. So then I went to junior college and met a good coach, Coach Duda, up in Pennsylvania, Scranton. Y'all watch The Office by any chance?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
it's actually a real city. They got the little sign, welcome to Scranton,
the electric city.
Yeah, the electric city.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then after that, I spent a year there, and then my recruitment started to blow up. And I was committed to NC State for like the whole entire season, and then I flipped like a week before signing day to Nebraska, because once I visited Nebraska, it felt right after I took the 2 official visits to see the difference.
Okay.
It was real nice. And then I played the 2 years there, the COVID, and then after the COVID year, I played another year in Nebraska, and it just didn't feel right. So then I entered the transfer portal. Then I took my name out of the transfer portal, and I stayed in Nebraska for like 2-3 more months, and I was like, yeah, it still doesn't feel right. And then I hit the portal, talked to Virginia Tech, and it felt like the right place.
Pheldarius, what was that like, the process coming to Virginia Tech? I think you got introduced to Pry coming out of Lackawanna originally. Did you look at Penn State at that point, and was that your first contact with him, or how did this whole process play out?
I met Coach Pry when I was in JUCO. He came to a practice or 2, because he actually a few of my teammates played under him at Penn State. I think around like 4 or 5 of them. So that was a good opportunity when I first met him. And then things just didn't click that time. Didn't end up there. And now this time around, got to be with him.
What was it about Virginia Tech? I mean, it's closer to home, obviously. How much did that play in your decision, and what were the other factors?
Really, I didn't want to be close to home, me personally. So
okay.
It was like, that wasn't a big factor, because NC State was like 2 hours.
That's true.
And Virginia Tech like 5 from 757 area, but it's still like a good enough. I liked it because it's a good enough distance away from home, like home away from home. So it was a good distance, and Virginia Tech also felt like home. On my recruitment visit, like I came to the spring game and the junior day, and everything just felt real family vibes. Felt like a big cookout. That's what it felt like. So it was a nice interaction.
Well, it seems like when you ended up coming to Virginia Tech out of the transfer portal, that was kind of instrumental for this new staff at Tech to kind of create those recruiting connections again in the state of Virginia. That was one of their big goals coming into last season in their first true recruiting class. Specifically, though, you're from the Tidewater area, right? So, with that decision to come back to Virginia Tech, what does that mean to you to be able to be a part of the foundation of recreating that connection in the state of Virginia, specifically for a transfer?
It was a big thing for me because I'm always lit up to guys like Bruce Smith, Michael Vick. Michael Vick is from my area, so I used to go to his camp when I was younger, and I had his cleats at one point.
Okay.
I forgot, you could switch the colors, and that was like the biggest thing to me when I was in Pop Warner. I had his cleats. It was amazing. And then so seeing him at Virginia Tech, my mom and dad both big college football fans, so like every Saturday is like that's what we watching the whole entire Saturday. So coming back home to Virginia Tech is like this is Virginia. Like Virginia Tech is the label for Virginia football. So it was big for me.
So you get your last year, arrive and enroll. Is that when you injured the Achilles? What happened there? And how tough was that to have to sit out? I mean, you're primed for a senior season, coming back closer to where your folks are, and then to have to sit out and watch. How tough was that?
It was real tough mentally because I was only supposed to do 6 months here. So it was like, wow. And then it happened I think the third, fourth week here. So it was real tough on me at first. And then as time went on, it got better because, of course, running and walking around, be able to do stuff on your own. Because I was in a scooter in a boot for 2 months. So
when did you feel like you were back or closer to yourself pre-injury?
Mentally or physically?
Both.
Mentally, probably around not too long ago, actually. Probably
really?
May, April. That's it, yeah. And physical around the same time, May, June, around that time.
So what is that rehabilitation process like, right? Get into the specifics for us. How do you treat that specific injury? How careful do you have to be? And are you back at 100%?
I feel like this injury is probably the most intense and detail. At first I couldn't put any type of pressure on it, and it was big, don't try to walk around. I hopped around to the restroom to use the restroom and shower, and I was in a smaller room at first, so that was real nice. But the procedure is real long. I think the recovery is 9 months to a year, and I tore it around last June, so it was real slow and I remember we was doing the walk, the tunnel walk, and I couldn't even. I just got out of the boot and I was trying to walk, and everything was real slow, and every step I took it was hurting, so everything was real slow. And I finally started running in a space. I forgot what it's called. It's not an Alter G, I don't believe, but it's it takes the weight off of you. So that's when I first started walking. That was October, November, and I tore it in June, so it was
wow.
It was super long. And I think around March, April, I started jogging, or I forgot what the exact date were, but I know I started doing a little stuff during spring ball, and I think that helped sped it along. And I'm at 100% right now. I could tell when I came back to report for the summer workouts, everything just felt a lot better.
I'm curious, how eager are you to get out there? And what do you kind of see your role on this team? Can you be an inside guy, an outside guy? Can you play both on this defensive line?
I'm super excited, and I feel like I could play both. Wherever the coaches need me, I'm definitely down. If they need me to play inside, I'm definitely play inside, outside. I just like D-line, honestly. I feel like that's the funnest position in all sports. It's nothing like it. And I'm very eager because I never sat out the whole entire year. So it's football is a sport. I don't know how to explain it. It's just so much fun. You just go out there, do whatever you want.
What has your relationship with J.C. Price been like, kind of being your position coach? Was he very involved in your recruiting process as well? A guy that played at Virginia Tech, played your position. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot to me because he's tied with the SAT record with Bruce Smith, with the single game SAT record. He got it versus Miami. And I just think it's a big thing that he came back and coached here. And it's major that I can pick his brain, learn from him, see what he has to say. Fleck is a huge thing for the whole entire program, and I'm excited to learn from him. It's been good.
How about this defensive line as a whole? Obviously, some new additions, kind of a position group that they seem to really want to attack in the recruiting department and in the transfer portal as well. So what are your thoughts on your brothers on the D-line and the position group as a whole heading into 2023?
I love the D-line. Like, this D-line is like, it's a close group, very click like it's like that's like family like I love them guys. I'm excited to see how we do this fall. Like, guys trying to make handshakes and all, so I'm excited to see how we do.
I know before we started this, you were talking about your dad and he was in the military. Did you ever consider being a military guy when you were younger?
Oh, I feel like that's the reason my grades just kept on slipping, because I felt like after my first year, after my grades were slipping, I was like, I'm just going to the military, and that was it. And then I happened to have a good few football seasons down the road, and junior college was just the route, because I was set on the military, honestly.
I don't think they let that haircut in the military. They probably have something to say about that.
Yeah, my dad, he probably would be better if I had a little buzz cut, or he liked when I got waves. Okay. I had waves when I was young, like most of my life, and then my mom got locks, so.
It seems like I read before that you had a pretty large contingent of family that would come up to drive up to Lackawanna to see you play, like 15 deep coming up to see you play. I have to imagine that was tougher for them to get to Nebraska when you're out there. That's a long way to travel across the country. What's that fan base going to be like for you here in Virginia Tech, where it's 5 hours down the road? Is it going to be back up in that 15 number coming to see you play?
Well, actually, when we played Ohio State, it was like at the 15 number, 15, 20. Okay. Call themselves the Payne train. They just get on it on the Sprinter van. They just get going. And I think here, the ODU game is a big thing for them, because we're all from the 757 area. And I'm trying to get them tickets right now, because it's about 20 of them want to come.
How tough is that to get tickets for that one too? I mean, there's a lot of local guys. They're probably looking for tickets for that game.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's so many local people from the 757, so it's like it's months ahead. I've been trying since like June, try to get everything in order.
Is that the game you're looking forward to most, or is there somebody else on the schedule that kind of really piques your interest, maybe an ACC opponent? Or are you really excited to, start and focus on week one, prime time, 8 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday night in Lane?
Yeah, I'm a big week-by-week guy, so okay. I'm excited for ODU. And it kind of hurt, because I wanted to play in the 757 actually last year, because I think that game hurt me the most, not being able to go back and see family and having them. That's 10 minutes from where I actually live, so it would have been a big thing for me last year. So I'm excited.
I kind of am curious the parallels between Virginia Tech and Nebraska, if there are any. But when you look at these from a surface level, a fan's perspective, there are a lot of similarities. Both programs have that history of winning. It was Nebraska in the 80s. It was Virginia Tech in the late 90s, early 2000s. The fan bases, I mean, no matter what the record is, both stadiums are sold out with crazy fans. They both have awesome traditions. So, what are the parallels to you between Virginia Tech and Nebraska, if there are any? And if there aren't, what are the differences?
Well, honestly, with the fan bases, I think these are the two best fan bases in college football. I love Twitter personally, just to go up there and laugh. But I'm going up there, I see Hokie football and Husker football. That's all I'm seeing down my timeline. These fan bases are the best fan bases in college football, in my opinion. So I can't see any difference between them two, if I'm gonna be honest with you.
So who has the better tunnel walk between the two programs? It's pretty famed at both places. And I was looking up some stuff about Nebraska. They play that Chicago Bulls song walking through, I think. Obviously, Enter Sandman for Lane Stadium. Which one is better in your opinion?
I'll have to go with Enter Sandman. I haven't seen.
Of course, you had to say that.
No, I'm dead serious. I seen videos like that UNC one. I see that one like every day on my timeline. Like, that's a different. You can't go anywhere without seeing that one. So it's like that's a staple of college football.
So is the feeling different when you're, Andy and I were talking earlier, and I don't know what it looked like when you went through the tunnel, but we almost vision you on like that scooter thing, dealing with your injury, right? How different is it that? And then obviously the spring game a little bit different, and then now how excited are you for the opportunity to do it? The pads are on, the helmet's on, and really do Sandman fired up, ready to play a game. How different do you think those experiences will be?
Yeah, I've been waiting for that feeling because I'm like, that Enter Sandman, like from the outside you hear, because I used to go out in the tunnel like a little bit earlier before they actually came down because I'm like, because they sprint all the way down. I'm like.
Did you have the scooter? Were we right on that?
Yeah, I had my scooter for like the first, I think for Warford, and I might have for the first 2 home games, and then after that, I was walking down the tunnel, but I always would go out first. And then it actually brought tears to my eyes watching it last year, so I'm excited to come out to it.
Your number 0. You wore that in Nebraska. You're wearing that here. Strange number for a defensive end. I don't see a lot of defensive ends number 0. Any meaning behind that? Why'd you choose that number?
Honestly, it was just like a new number, and I wanted to be the first one to wear it in a program. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
It's never been like.
I just thought it was an interesting number.
Yeah.
And you and Ali both have it this year, right?
Oh yes, sir.
Okay. So you can't be on the field at the same time. I don't think
Hopefully
it's not going to be a problem. Okay.
Did you guys argue about that at all? Like, you can't take my number?
No, I was happy for him because me and Jalen, we used to joke around with the 2 zeros, but now he's going.
Jalen
so now
Holston.
I'm happy, Jalen Holston. So happy it's another 0 offense. I ain't want to be the only one, if I'm being honest.
Right. What is your do you and Ali have any kind of special relationship because you wear number 0? How often do you even see those offensive guys?
I see them pretty often, like through lifts. Well, I don't see them that often. now that I think about it. But outside of like the facilities, we see each other a lot. This team got a lot of team bonding like separately. So.
Who are your guys? Do you live alone? Do you live with roommates?
Oh, I live by myself, but like I said, the D-line, like a very close group. Like, we all was watching the fight. What was it, 2 days ago?
Yeah, a couple nights ago, big fight. What was it? Gaethje was in there?
Oh, no, we just watched Bud, and then we watched, of course, the early card.
Okay, gotcha. The prelims, yeah.
Yeah, so it was, we have events like that. Like when the draft came on, we all went to somebody's house, had food over. It's just... I hang out with the D-line a lot, and usually like the whole entire team, like we do we had like a big cookout. Just the O-line had a cookout. Everybody went over there. And I think they had a cookout for like the receivers, and everybody went over there. So it was just a big team bonding.
Okay, let's get into some fun stuff, Andy. Unless you had a couple more.
Some of those were fun questions.
All right, let's go ahead. You ready for some fun speed round type questions?
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. First and foremost, so we kind of had to do our research here, right? And I noticed on Instagram, your profile picture is Jim Carrey as the Mask, right? Okay, why that? Because it's obviously not you, but Jim Carrey is obviously an icon, and it's a great movie.
Yeah, I like the Mask. It's like he got 2 different personalities. Like, I feel like it's like once you play football, like you put on a helmet, it's like a whole different person as you walk the streets. And that's one of my favorite movies, honestly. It's like, you see them superpowers he have?
Yeah.
That's how it feels. Like, it's just amazing.
Very cool. Very cool.
Better nickname for you, Pain Train or House of Pain?
House of Pain.
Okay.
Which one you like?
I like House of Pain.
House of Pain.
I agree. I like that one as well.
I went to Wisconsin, so I'm biased for the House of Pain.
Okay, that's fair.
The jump around music. So
Yeah, jump around fourth quarter.
I still get upset when they say that that's better than Enter Sandman. I don't know if I agree with that.
I have no comment on that.
It's not close.
Who did you kind of grow up idolizing? Whether it was an NFL player, a player in the state. You said you were a big college football guy. Your family was very into college football. Who have you kind of modeled your game after?
At one point, Julio Jones. That's why I had my locks at one point. I was like, I got to get him to stick out the helmet. And Michael Vick. Like, I played in football. I played every position except for guard and center. But they put me at every position. I played kicker, quarterback, wide receiver, safety, corner.
Wow.
I done played everything.
When did you make the officials like, I am a defensive lineman? Like, when did that become proclaimed?
Once it was just so fun. It was just like, I don't think it's any other position that's like you can just do whatever you want. It's relaxed and it's fun and you can free roam. You can catch picks. You can get sacks. You can do it all right there.
Any defensive lineman in the NFL you look to now? You're like, that guy's the dude right there.
Oh, yeah, I look at a few of them. I look at Von Miller, look at Aaron Donald, of course, those guys. Michael Parsons. He was, I used to watch him a lot when he was at Penn State when I was in junior college. His first couple of years were real good. And Dante Fowler, I used to watch him. Like, I think he's my favorite D and outside linebacker. Like, him at Florida was special.
Brent Pry brings up Micah Parsons quite a bit. You hear that? We've heard it quite a bit from him. I imagine he brings up around the team quite a bit too.
Not that much, but he does talk about him. I think that's his guy, I think.
What's this pregame playlist look like? Or are you a no music kind of guy before the game?
No, I have a pregame playlist. It's been the same since like 2018.
Wow.
Yes, a few gospel songs to start off, so when you get on the bus, you're not too amped up. Then Young Boy, I forgot what's the song. Oh, it's not Valuable Pain. I wish I could remember it, but I don't remember the Young Boy song. Then it's a Lil Baby song, and then it's Chief Keef for the rest. So,
okay. For the rest of the entire thing?
Yeah, it's like, I think it's like 8 of them left. It's only like a 12 song playlist.
Interesting.
Who's a player on the team that we haven't talked too much about that you think is going to have a pretty big year?
That is a good question. I think the whole D-line room, I'm excited to see that D-line room. Like, I don't know if y'all been talking about a certain amount of people in the D-line room, but that D-line room, I think it's going to be a big season for the whole entire room.
And I would be hesitant to ask this question until I watched all the ACC Media Day stuff and I saw what they were asking on the ACC Network and stuff, so I'm going to ask it. Any quarterback that you just can't wait to get your hands on playing football this fall and take to the ground with a big sack?
Well, honestly, the ODU quarterback. I just been thinking about it for a while. Like, I need a few sacks. Like, ODU first, and then I can worry about the rest. But ODU, I definitely need.
All right. Well, I think that wraps things up. Pheldarius, thanks so much for your time, my man. It's been really, really fun.
Well, thanks for having me. I enjoyed myself.
All right. Again, today's show was brought to you by Triumph NIL. For Pheldarius Payne, for Andy Bitter, I'm Giovanni Heater saying so long, and we'll see you next time on Triumph Spotlight.